Hello everybody, this is me Johan here. I've been using the Moto Z2 Play for a while right now. And it's a phone I just feel has been overlooked by many people and thoroughly underrated. Here are my reasons why I feel you should consider the Moto Z2 Play as your next smartphone. Guys, please excuse me for the sounds that might be taking place in the background from time to time. It's festive. It's the festive time in this part of the world, and there's a lot of noise going on in the background. Please excuse me for that. Alright, the screen used on this phone is a 5.5-inch screen. It's the old 16:9 aspect ratio screen, a full HD plus screen. It's a 1080p screen with a pixel density of about 401 ppi, and there's Corning Gorilla Glass 3 used on it. So the highlight of this panel is none of these things. The highlight of this panel, as it is, you guys can see for yourself, it's a high quality OLED panel used on this. It's a really punchy screen, believe me when I tell you this, guys. As it is, you guys can see for yourself, it's a high quality OLED panel used on this phone, and the quality of this panel is on par with the OnePlus 5, and the price at which it's being sold right now, it's easily got one of the best OLED panels out there, and in fact, leaving out all the other Samsungs, it's one of the very few phones out there that come in its price range with an OLED panel of such high quality. Regarding the build quality of this phone, the front of the phone is made of Corning Gorilla Glass, and as it is, you guys can see for yourself, the entire phone, including the frame, is made up of aluminum, and it's an extremely slim phone. Believe me, it's one of the slimmest phones I've ever seen. And believe me, this phone is built like a tank. It's got tank-like build quality that can actually rival many flagship phones made of aluminum primarily. But the thing that really surprised me about this phone is how incredibly light it is. It's so light. Believe me, despite the fact that it's so slim and made, or rather built like a tank, it is an extremely light phone, and it was a real delight carrying with me wherever I went, because I never felt the weight of the phone for 1 second. Okay, there are phones in its budget that have got much more powerful processors. But keep in mind one thing, the Moto Z2 Play is no slouch. It comes with the Snapdragon 626 octa-core processor with 4 GB of RAM and the Adreno 506 GPU inside. Now don't get all excited about the processor. It all boils down to optimizations. Keep in mind one thing, last year's Moto G5 Plus with the Snapdragon 625 octa-core processor outperformed this year's Redmi Note 5 Pro, which has had the much more powerful Snapdragon 636 octa-core processor in it on most occasions. After Google, I would rate Motorola as the best company in terms of optimizing their phones in the Android side of things to give the best performance. There have never been any app crashes. The apps open fast and consistently, and even heavy games run quite smoothly on this phone, surprisingly. I'm telling you one thing, guys, the optimization on this phone is simply excellent. Another area where this phone has really impressed me has been in its quality of touch. I mean, the touch sensitivity on this phone. Just have a look at this. See how smooth it is, man. It is an unbelievably smooth experience on this phone. I mean, things just feel extremely fluent on this phone. See, on the OnePlus side of things, the OnePlus 5T and the OnePlus 6 might be faster in terms of app opening speeds. But in terms of touch sensitivity and overall smoothness, the Moto Z2 Play feels a lot more smoother than even those two phones. Believe me when I tell you this, guys, it almost rivals the touch quality of a Pixel phone. I would just say it's just marginally behind the quality of a Pixel phone. Alright, regarding the cameras on this phone, the rear camera, as it is, you guys can see for yourself, is a 12 megapixel camera with an f1.7 aperture and a dual tone LED flash right over here. And the front camera is a 5 megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture and again a dual tone LED flash. Both the cameras do a decent job during daylight situations, and the rear camera can shoot at 4K 30 FPS and the front cam can shoot at 1080p 30 FPS. You guys can have a look at some of the samples I've taken on this phone. Using the rear camera of the Moto Z2 Play, it's being shot at 4K 30 FPS. Focusing hunting going on here and there, but not bad. Let's see how stable it is. It'll run now. It's focusing a lot faster now. Alright, this is video footage using the front cam of the Moto Z2 Play. It's at 1080p 30 fps. Seems to be doing a pretty decent job overall. Alright, the phone currently runs Android Oreo 8.0 and it is one of the Motorola phones that are scheduled to get the Android Pie update, so you have nothing to worry about over there. And regarding the security patch, you guys can have a look at it for yourself. It's currently running the October 1st, 2018 security patch and we're currently in the month of November. So I feel even in this area it is fairly up to date. Alright, another area where this phone has really impressed me has been with its battery life. It currently runs on Android Oreo 8.0. It's got a 1080p screen and just a 3000 milliampere battery inside. Keep in mind it's an OLED screen. And on top of it, the optimizations on Motorola have been fantastic. It currently averages me anywhere between a day and day and a half of usage and anywhere between 6 and 7 hours of screen on time, which is highly respectable. Keep in mind one thing, guys, this phone is going to receive Android Pie, and once it receives Android Pie, the battery life will improve by another 15 to 20% as it has the adaptive battery mode embedded in it. And as far as charging speeds are concerned, the phone charges from 0 to 100% in about an hour and 20 minutes, which is pretty fast. And if you guys are in for a quick charge, 0 to 50% is possible in just 30 minutes. Alright, regarding the quality of audio on this phone, I would say the quality of audio via the speaker is good enough. It's not the loudest, but one thing, it gets loud enough and it's immersive enough. Keep in mind the screen on this phone makes you forget everything. I'll just play a short clip for you guys. As you guys can see for yourself, it's loud enough and it's quite clear even at max volume. It's at max volume right now. But what impresses me more than the quality of audio via speaker is the quality of audio via headphones. Believe me, the quality of audio via headphones on this phone is pretty good. I would say at the best it's above average. It gets loud enough and believe me, it's a decent experience as far as quality of audio via headphones on this phone is concerned. Also to keep in mind, the phone does come bundled with a good pair of in-ear headphones. The phone currently sells for about half the MRP rate at which it was launched for last year. This phone was launched for a price of around 28,000 rupees last year in India. There are certain things in this phone that have really impressed me. Number one has been its build quality. Tank-like build quality, believe me. It's made of aluminum and extremely well built and put together. It can rival any flagship in terms of its build quality. The touch sensitivity on this phone is top notch. It's a very smooth and fluent experience. There are many Chinese manufacturers out there that will provide you phones between 10 and 15,000 rupees which have much more powerful processors than this, but keep in mind the touch sensitivity and quality of touch on those phones are nowhere near as good as the touch sensitivity on this phone. It's in a different league altogether as far as touch sensitivity is concerned. The AMOLED panel used on this phone again is of top-notch quality. Believe me, the AMOLED panel used on this phone can rival the AMOLED panel used on last year's OnePlus 5. It's a top-notch AMOLED panel used on this phone. Believe me when I tell you this, guys, if you guys are into watching a lot of YouTube videos and if you guys really like an immersive experience, this phone's panel can provide you that experience. The internals on this phone are pretty generous as well. It does come with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. It does come with dual SIM support as well as micro SD card along with it. If you guys can avail this phone anywhere between 13 and 15,000 rupees, it is currently available on both Flipkart and Amazon. If you guys were convinced with all the pros that I had to say about this phone and if it matches everything that you would want in a smartphone, I would suggest you guys to go ahead and purchase this phone because I feel it is amazing value for money right now. A point to note, the phone is dust and splash proof as well. I put a few links in the description so that you guys, alright, rather in the case of you guys wanting to purchase this phone, I would suggest you guys to go ahead and purchase the phone via the link, as it does help the channel out. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys really liked the video. If you guys loved the video, I'd appreciate it if you guys give me a thumbs up. And if you're interested in following me from here on, I would suggest you guys to go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel, Living with Tech. And right after that, hit the bell icon so that you guys get notified with the latest and greatest videos I'll be uploading on YouTube from here on. So as it is, as always, I wish all of you a tremendous day ahead of you. Ciao for now.